Hey everybody, sometimes weird stuff happens on the computer. I don't know. I, I came in and I came in this morning. Everything looked fine. I come back in here. All the web browsers are closed. I actually used two browsers and several windows to make the show happen. And I was like, how the fudge did all the browsers get closed? Anyway, still like, I was sitting there trying to figure it out. I was like, I should go live instead of trying to figure this out. Anyway, welcome to the show. I guess Trading View trying to get in with Spotify here. It's kind of funny. Look at this. Um I, when I reloaded it, or when I restarted the browser, this popped up as your yearly recap. And I haven't even been through this, so I just clicked on it and then I was like, I better start the stream. So I've been with Trading View 1,820 days now. Nice. I have no idea what this is about to show, so it could be look at that, 44,000 symbols. 365 indicators. You think I don't mess with this stuff? Look at this. Look at this. Yeah. 279 boosts. High fives. 51 followers. I guess you can follow me on TradingView. 25 news items. Guess I don't read much news on TradingView. 1 layout. I've got a bunch of layouts already pre-saved, so probably only made one new one. That's I guess that's interesting. For anybody that thinks I don't look at a lot of symbols, though, like 44,000 symbols. That's a lot of charts, everybody. That's a lot of charts. It's a lot of charts. I see. There we go. We can go back. Look at that. 44,000 tickers. Holy bananas. That's a few, Wow. I gotta screenshot that. That's too great. 44,000 symbols. Oh, look at it. Nice. I didn't keep the snip. I bet the snipping crashed the browsers. Cool. Wonder how you get back to this page. Oh, there we go. I bet that's it. Copy that link. Throw up my Discord personal chat thing I have going, if I can find it, because all the browsers are rearranged. Cool. My favorite. There we go. All right, stuff for videos. Paste that in there. And there we go. All right. Anybody look at that many symbols? Maybe I beat me on the symbols? that's more than a few right there. Welcome everybody. Good morning. Let's see, we got Rob, channel member Sledge, channel member Don, Sergio, Gary, Darren, David, Ed, Brian, Sydney, Donald, Arturo, Rex, Kevin, Ivan, Mark, Nikki, Swinburne, Diane, Joseph, Frank, Dan, David. Hey, good. It's good to see everybody. Anybody say anything? Let's see. I should read what the comments were. Let's see. I wouldn't say Fed afternoons are typically down. That's not like I don't know that that's a typical. If you get stuck in that mindset where there's a typical thing that happens on FOMC, that's dangerous. All right, Dave. Now, we were elevated and the market was just kind of grinding, indicating that it might roll over, and we were kind of bearish set up going into it. So flush was the operative kind of thing. So now Roberto, you got to be careful. We're probably going to rally from here. We'll look at it. We may go down just a little bit more, but we're probably going to do an epic rally before we do any kind of big flush out crash. And I don't know that the crash is necessarily coming Q1, Q2, Q3. We might top out. We could push it into 2026 also. So you got to be very careful about simplifying things. I said it's a very complicated subject. It's not a very clear-cut, easy, it's not like JT saying it's going to end right there and we're flushing, that's not the way it works. So 100%. Shoot. Why not 500% if we're going to make a wish? Anyway. All right. Let's get back to trading view and let's see. Super charts. There we go. Why did it load DGS2? Not the one I wanted to be on. Let's see. Oh, crap. I forgot to paste the list in here. Shoot. I'll have to be right back, everybody. I have to go get the list. Or it didn't reload. I bet I did this before where I pasted it in and then it didn't. Like, I had to reload both computers to get it to load. So I will be right back because, well, what's the show without the list, right? So give me 1 second. We'll pause for just a moment and I'll be right back. So if anybody comes in, keep the chat going. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Guess what? When you don't hit enter, it doesn't save the list. There we go. Populated right up. Beautiful. All right. We had a giant flush yesterday. I mean, it's all relative what you look at. Look at this right here. Anybody remember me saying that, hey, there's the target on Russell. We could get there in a day or so. Anybody remember that? Holy bananas. I closed my debit spread yesterday. Golly. Excuse me. That white monster. It's an interesting pog. Papaya, orange, guava. Definitely different, but look at that. We tried to retest there. I mean, that was a heck of a range yesterday. Look at that candle. So beautiful. I closed it out right near the end of the day. Right in there. And what was I trading? Dish baby. This one right here. Looking for that touch. And this is what counts right here. All right, the futures got close enough to count, but this right in the middle of the roadmap line. That was it. That was the ticket right there. Anybody think this stuff doesn't work? Raise your hand. Comment in the chat. And click the subscribe button. Be a subscriber on the channel. If you don't think that, let me know in the chat. Leave a comment down below if you're not watching live. Oh man, I don't know. I got lucky again, I guess, on that put spread right there. Anybody take that put spread with me? Anybody do it when I talked about the Russell breaking down right over here the other day? Right there. That was 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 days, and we got it. Boom. That was beautiful. It was beautiful, right? I mean, like, that's a class. I don't usually trade short, but that was too good to pass up right there. Beautiful. Just typically, I don't count on the market doing a big flush, but that was just, it was telegraphed way in advance. Now this one right here, look at this. This set a record yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. that big flush. Right there. You know when the last time that the Dow Jones did 10 days in a row? Anybody see the headlines last night? Anybody see the headline? 1974. 1974. Right, we have to zoom this baby way out to get that far back. Glad you guys pay attention, guys and gals. It doesn't even go back that far. Look at that. Let's see. Here we are. Let's see, where was it in 74? Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 there. There's might be right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Might have missed one. So if this is reminiscent of what we did, that was 73. 74 is over here, but it was 9 and 73. I guess I'm on the 3 days, so yeah. Can't look at the daily chart that far back, probably that easily. It'd probably take me scrolling forever to get back there. Jeez. Let's see. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Here we are. Helps if you're on the right time frame. Let's see. Where was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 73 again. Right in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's a 12. And that was at the bottom. So we did ours at the top. I find that to be interesting. We did it at the top, not at the bottom. So this is indicative that we might get some continuation at some point. All right. When we were looking back there at 1973, it kind of did this, and then that was the lead up into something further. So Russell there, watch for a bounce, because that was what we needed. That was what we needed. Minimum requirements. Cha-ching. So the resistance now is here. Now that's the zone to watch. We could rally back up here the next couple weeks and then do the next one. How big on the next one? Let's take a look. There's 1, 2, 3. That puts us potentially down in this zone. If we do this and that. Start cleaning up some stuff here. Talked about lots of stuff in the past. And all these things don't matter anymore. Down there, it doesn't matter. Here's what matters right now. If we break above that, 2,500. Here's the upside. There's the operative potentials right there. This is why we're set up for a bigger potential flush. Now, this met the minimum I was looking for. This did the thing I was expecting to do. It just did it fast. Right in front of, right in front of Christmas and New Year's. So the next 2 weeks, maybe blasé. May not be all that spicy. We could rally into the end of the year. We could rally into the election there. Now, look at this. I find this very interesting to me. Dipped right through. Now we're coming back up. So what happens when we get here? That's a big indicator for ES. Like, did we overdo it yesterday? Just a little bit. And we come ripping back up through? Or do we respect it and come on down to the daily? That'll be the key right there. All right? That's the big key. So looking on down in the smaller time frames, everything started turning pretty good. Look at that. We broke through. Retest. Continuation would be expected. 15 minutes. Probably coming up on it if we're not there yet. Load. Man. There it goes. Yeah. So that one's got a little more to go up there at about the 6,000 level. 6,020, that is. I thought we might hold 6,000, but we busted right on through. But we're going to pull it back up today. There's a lot of options sitting at 6,000. All right, they've got to get it back above 6,000. It's got to sit right at 6,000, right in this zone right here. It's got to sit there. I didn't think we'd go through, but we did, and now they got to pull it back up in a big way. Why? That giant wall of puts and calls has got to go out as close to zero as they possibly can get it tonight. All right. They got to get it as close to zero as they can possibly hold it. This is probably going to hang out right in here. It's funny, Sergio, like, did I not say in the chat that we will probably tank this down to at least 6,000 and then hang out? So it's tomorrow morning. Like, tomorrow morning is the big chunk. The big chunk comes off tomorrow morning. I mean, sometimes the market says, hey, here's what's going to happen. And then we do it. It was just, it's kind of freaky when you can start reading the tea leaves and seeing it. Like, it doesn't always work. I don't always get it right, but well, thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for being here. This is one of the biggest crowds I've had lately. So, if I say anything's helpful, beneficial, interact with the video. We're probably coming back up, but we're probably going to hang out right here today. I would be very surprised if we get very far away from here. This 6,000 area. Why? Well, I can load the trading platform back up. That also closed. That's cool. Everything closed, but the computer didn't reboot. You tell me. I don't know. Something weird. Something weird. All right. Trading platform. Install an update. Well, when that pops up, I'll pull it over and we can look at the S&P options. There it goes. And come on. Initializing. Loading. Usually this thing's pretty spicy. Must be 9 gazillion people freaking the freak out today. Slowing down the trading platform. All right. Go to SPX. Let's see how many people closed since yesterday. Pull this over. There you go. It's about the same. Look at that. About the same. Right there. Oh, that was... Wait. That's weird. I bet they pull this back up. I bet this runs right back up here. I don't think they'll let these puts be in the money. right there. I think it's going to come right back up to this 6,000 level and hang out there by the end of the day. So that's a pretty good rally. Would not surprise me one bit to see that rip right back up in that zone. That's too many options sitting there to let them go out for big profit. If you can get them as close to zero as you possibly can, that's how the market makers make their money right there. So that's a pretty wide gap between SPX and ES. Look at that gap up. Probably leave that gap for a little while, but this rally's right back up here. Probably back in this zone right there. Would not surprise me. Now we could flush on down. If they do, there's going to be some shenanigans the next 2 weeks in the markets. Right there. But there's a lot of options sitting at that 6,000. If we can get up there by the end of today, then that's the deal. In fact, I might put some on to try to take advantage of that. Hold on one second. I don't usually trade on while I'm doing this, but I'm gonna put a. See, that's $10. That's $1,000. That's too much. Too much money on the line. Let's do a. Ooh, I can do a. There's $1 on the line. I can do a 59.80, 59.90 for $1.50. Let's give it just a little extra juice, sort of fill. There it goes. Filled immediately. $1.65. So I'm just right there for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning. So this is good for today only. Right there. Bought the 59.80. Sold the 59.90. Call. Give that the pop. Right there. We'll see what happens. 0 days, basically. I mean, it expires. This is S&P 5 SPX. And we'll see what happens. All right. Moving on. S5TW. Switch to guns. Look at that. Down to 8%. I told you, if it gets below 10, we're going to reverse. 10 is the immediate reversal. We can hang out there a couple days, but we're going to reverse. This is going back to the top. It doesn't have the market no longer has the energy to hang out at the bottom. We can hang out a few days, but we just can't, we can't hang out below 10. That's just not something the market can do. We can't spend a prolonged period down here. Just like we can't spend a prolonged period at the top. The market can't hang out at extremes. It just can't. It doesn't have the energy. Anything's possible, but the sellers dry up. And the buyers it takes buyers to buy on the way down. And if the buyers are dried up, it just can't. The dynamics of the market will, even if we spend a couple days down here, we're going to go back up to the top. It's just the way it works. Make a big, we're going to have to make a big spike before we can do further downside. So that's where you get volatility. S5FI, look at that. We plummeted it right out to 20. Another warning indicator for a reversal. We've actually set this up to go to those extension targets. And this one pushed down to 53% of S&P 500 stocks above their 200-day. Now, those other two can flush up while this continues its journey down to the bottom. So be careful, all right? participation can narrow further. There's the election coming up. I predicted we might see a flush on down, but we're going to have to get some sort of retrace before we can do that probably. If we're going to go down. This could be the bottom and we just go ripping off. Entirely possible there too. That was a whole nother scenario. I mentioned that caution that NQ was hitting that target. If anybody remembers, NQ H2025. Look at that. I warned you for 2 days. We hit that target. That possibly the first wave. We come up here, do a 618, and come down here. That's possible. Of course, retesting the breakout, I said was likely to happen. Remember that? Anybody remember? Let me know in the chat. Retesting the breakout. I talked about this as a scenario. Retesting the breakout. We did that fast. Really fast. Incredibly fast. Holding. Where does that put us? It puts into play that right there. As long as we hold that level, if we get below it, we're going on down. If we hold it, the most likely thing we're going to do is right up there. So this met the minimum criteria that I needed to go higher in one nice big fat correction. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. CL continues to grind. Russell probably going up here. GC. Now that's an interesting one. So the contract rollover put us below the line. So we got to go GC. Gosh, they're not on. I don't think they're on the H contract. I have to go look up the contract. I think they're on the, yeah. Yeah, there's not an H. There's a. Dang, I can't remember my contract letters. And I closed them. That was beautiful. CME. I can never remember these month codes. I mean, I've got the H and the M and the Z and the U, but you know, because that's the ones for the. Let's see if it's F. GCF. 5. Wow, cool. GCF 2025. There we go. That one gap down. Wow. Actually was a gap down. That's interesting. That means the 1 hour period when it was closed last night, market took the opportunity to flush it. So this has the potential to go down further. At least right down in here. Interesting. Yeah, look at that. That's so on the 15-minute, bust down through, back test from underneath. Red alert. Red alert, red alert, red alert. Probably what we're doing. Going down for at least the daily roadmap line. So here's your first, you know, that 2550, 2560 area. Probably going to make a lower low than we made right back here. So it'd be wise to set an alert at the low from back there, or just below it. That'd be 25. Let's see, what was that? Low was 25.41.50. So 25.40. And then this target down here would be 25 or 24.96, basically. So just below that, 2,500, essentially, 2,500. And then this is down at 24.25-ish. I'm very interested in this because I think when it finishes this flush, it's going up in a big way to 2,900, and 2,400 to 2,900. That's $500 on gold, and that's like 25%, and you can make some big money in a hurry on this baby. Now look at this one. It's doing it's doing it even faster here. We're down below the roadmap line. We're down below that low. The ideal spot to turn coming in right here. Although we could bounce at any of these numbers right here. The bounce is imminent. All right, which one? Which one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it the ideal this one? I don't know. All you can do is be ready. When this turns, this has a giant upside potential. I mean, just giant. Maybe like, how do you trade gold and silver? GLD. There's gold. SLV. Silver. These are looking mighty nice right here. I did get off silver. I saw something in the market that freaked me out a little bit right in here. I got off, waiting, probably going to be shopping right in here. There's my levels right there, right there, right there. I already highlighted them. So, watching, waiting. We start setting some alerts. Right here, and right here. Bitcoin, flush with the market, but it's a risk off asset, but it really held up pretty well compared to everything else. It kind of held that consolidation, break back out, that can explode higher. Ethereum, right back to the box again. This one can't get out of its own way, but this, as long as that's a higher low, can result in an explosive move, explosive catch-up move. It can. If we start getting lower low, it's all over but the crying. Simple as that. Right now, dollar, look at that massive candle right there. Apparently there's a shortage of dollars in the global market, and other central banks are creating dollars. Maybe like, how does that work? I spent like a half hour last night reading about how other central banks create dollars last night in the global market. And there's a huge shortage. So the dollar, that person's theory was that the dollar may explode higher, even with gold and Bitcoin and oil riding along. I thought that was an interesting take on it. NKD coming back strong. Look at that. Took the whole flush back right there already. Did retest the roadmap line once again. I was warning for a couple of days here when we glanced off the top. We're probably coming back down near the bottom of the box. As long as we hold it, sideways is still the expectation. If we can break out above, we're going to 44, and the S&P 500 and NASDAQ are probably going up to the extension targets. All right, I go to the market, pull everything moving $2 or more up, put it on the gainers list, $2 or more down, put it on the decliners list, and we go through it. So there's been lots of stuff and maybe some opportunities. I warned about this one, potentially got to pull back. This retested, it ripped right on through that, came up to some clear air, stalled out, back to the retest of the breakout, up to that 750 area. would be the next next expectation for this crazy leveraged FANG thing. Exchange traded note, ACN, dip back to the roadmap line, and probably going for the breakout here. 404 upside DRI. Boom! Look at that. It yesterday, boom, right to the target. Beautiful move. MSTR. Warning, 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 warning. We are below that consolidation zone. If this does not reverse today, that is a very real possibility. It's your big red flag right here. Giant red flag. If this doesn't get its crap back together, that becomes a really real possibility right there. In UKK. Complete piece of garbage. I wouldn't touch it. Not even talking about that. That's just such garbage. Such a garbage chart. Tesla. BTFD opportunity here. Could go a little lower. Could come back. I mean, there's always the possibility it comes back lower. I think we're unfinished on the upside. And we're going to still rally. The market, if the NASDAQ turns, saves it, goes higher, this is ripping again. 500, 600, those are the upside targets. Wrongimer, you got so lucky, dude. Selling out right there at the top. The opportunity to get back in, potentially somewhere in here, and ride it up. Beautiful. Sometimes you get lucky. Netflix, little blip. That can grind it on higher. Now be careful here. This hasn't retested the breakout. If you're on Netflix, be careful. This can retest the breakout before it pops up here, this 1,000 area. Of course, it can just grind it right on up and get there. Does not have to retrace. It could do a mini retrace just back to that level, that fib level right around 850. Very, very nice. Coin. Dun, 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 dun. Back to the breakout. That's all we needed. It was three-way. 1, 2, 3. Right to the breakout. Let's go for the extension. And this one looks better on log mode. Right there. Right there, right there. You can't make this stuff up, but that would be the next expectation. Right up there around 420, 427. Coin, Meta. Be careful here. All right, this is beyond extensions. This high, this low. It's beyond that fib line. This could come back before it pops. Now it could just pop. That's possible. A lot of times though, they come back and retest the breakout before they go big. And this one hit that first target, retraced, filled that gap, retested that breakout, came up to the next one, can do it again very easily. And be careful chasing Meta. Doesn't mean it won't go. Just know where you're, unless you want to ride the whole ride down and back up, be careful. CRWD looks set, primed for that 440. RH tried to break out, got rejected back down in here. Not sure. This is not a warm fuzzy kind of chart pattern here. This can retrace deeply. GS looks like we're going back for the roadmap line. Would not surprise me one bit to come back on down just a little more. Financials, report and earnings, beginning of the year. Coming up right here. Watch for that to come down and bounce. We could see this flush on down and then bounce. Now, if financials start ripping from here, if that was all the correction they needed, Kind of watch Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Bank of America, all those. If you're not sure, JPM, BAC, MS. Watch all these. If they start turning, they start rallying, the market's probably going with them. The market tends to go with the financials. Makes it a strong. Now, if financials are pulling back when the market's pulling back, that's a weak rally. All right. Strong rallies are when the financials are rallying and the market rallies. Let's see, where was I? Up here, we're in Goldman Sachs. PTIR, watch out for that one. Looks like it held up really well yesterday. People just held fast on that one. So here's one that has the opportunity to flush because it didn't flush yesterday. Be careful right there. PTIR is the leverage on it. And golly, man, I got so many tickers on the list today. We're going to have to get ripping. GEV, watch for the flush. Carvana, watch for the flush. MESO, nice pop, but it's taking it right back. DFS, watch for the flush. MSTX, it's below the warning. Same thing I said on MSTR. This one can go down. If MSTR goes down 40%, this one goes down 80%. Ooh, that's not good. Watch your exposure. These things have a habit of outperforming to the downside when they're leveraged long. Bill, I think I'm completely out of MSTX right now. Bill can, I kind of drew this on here I don't even remember how long ago. Maybe when it was doing that. And look at that. That's almost perfect for continuation down here. Spotify glanced off of the 1272. The 90% of the way to the 1272. Watch for it to retest the breakouts before we go higher. It's 1448. It's 90% of the way. So this is my made up fib number right here. It's take 1272, multiply it by 0.9, 90% of the way there. You get this number right here, 1448. It's weird when I did that. It's weird how often it works. It's like for years I've said there's a fuzzy zone, right? I didn't have a great way to test it. Everybody's like, prove it. All my copy team, they're like, the legal wants a substantiation on why you say it's a fuzzy zone and how it's high probability, blah, blah, blah. So finally I built the Apollo algorithm that backtests this stuff and put numbers to it. And 90% of the way turned out to be the bottom of the fuzzy zone that was high probability. It's weird how it works. Works and works and works. Like I didn't have it before, but now I do. It's just kind of wild. So watch for that to retrace and then rally on up to about 620. KMX, CarMax. How about struggling here? Look at that. Struggling for the last 2 years. As the market has ripped higher, this has struggled. And so that shows a kind of a change in the business between CarMax and Carvana to me. And Reddit, watch for that to roll. That showed no selling yesterday. DPST, right back down. Oh, look at that. I said we're coming back down. Now, this could be indicative that we're near the bottom on regional banks anyway. And they could turn stuff like First Horizon. And let's see. Can't remember all my FNB. There's like a ton of the regionals. I guess you could go in here and click the button to not more seasonals. Where's the more about the fund? There it is. More about the fund. You go down here and look at these, and here we go. Got Huntington, M&T, Citizens, Regions, Truist, First Horizon, Zion, Webster, and there's 144 of them total. Start looking at these for opportunities. Or you could trade DPST, but I would probably dive into what the holdings are. Look for the best opportunities. That's where you can make more money right there. If you think DPST is going to turn. Dave, bouncing off the extension at the 1618. Watch for the retrace. ADI underneath. Watch for a further decline. Absolute pile of garbage. Dumpster fire, reverse split, SOC. Don't trade stuff like that. Just don't. Like, if you're going to follow me, don't chase dumpster fires. Potential bounce there. I mean, you can do it despite me, but, you know, I'm not going to congratulate you for making money on a bad decision. Can you make money? Yeah. Do people make money all the time on dumpster fires? Yeah. Is it very guaranteed? Absolutely not. 30 to 31 on that one. So UW, Soundtown, dang. I guess their AI embracement. It's coming up into resistance here. Be careful. Might push it on up here, but those numbers get really crazy really fast. Looks like a pretty major resistance right here. I don't know which one you're asking about, Mark M. Cannon. You have to be more specific. Which ticker? CRM still on the hunt for the bigger pattern, bigger picture, bigger target. And it looks better on non-log scale, which would be 400 to 450. PNW. That one split, regular split. Left all my drawings up there. So let's just clear it off. It's probably going to come back to the roadmap line. Roadmap line. If you don't have the roadmap line, you go to the channel homepage, right? You know, click the link underneath me, my name, right there. Go to the channel homepage. It's pinned to the channel. Watch that video. It starts playing when you go there, or if you have that kind of autoplay thing turned on, and it'll give you the code. It'll tell you, you know, give you how it works, explain the pattern. And even though the video is like a couple years old now, it's the same thing, like all the time in the market. Like that retrace pops up through the 618, and we get the extension up to the target. Same pattern, same thing on all time frames. It's the way price action works. Look at that. See it right there? Boom. Right there. Beautiful. I traded that one right there before the split. You know, we were in this back here, and we waited, took forever, and we finally got it right here. I got out. Got in at like 200. Got out at like 400. Pretty much doubled my money. Beautiful trade. Now it's likely to retrace. NVDU. I'm telling you, watch out. This is signaling bigger downside. Might be in store for NVIDIA. BX, watch out for the retrace further on down to the roadmap line. Right there. Marvell, chips not superheroes, may have overextended itself and come back to the breakouts. Watch for that. Hit the 1618. Watch for this support. If that doesn't hold, we're coming on down, and these could come together right over here. Connell, that's a way to play a coin. Secondary bounce off the roadmap line. This may be an opportunity if you believe this is going on out. Could play this from 46 to possibly 100. IBM. That looks like First move, second move. Probably going to do a third move down in here. SPXL. I warned about that one. This can come on down right there. Is S&P giving it up a little more? Churning. Churning. All right, back down here. Don't trade things like this. It's just not worth losing your money. ARQQ. I do it for fun sometimes. You can play with those, but anything that looks like this, where it's just an absolute piece of garbage, dumpster fire of a chart. If you're gonna put money in this, make sure it's a volume, it's an amount of money that you are willing and would go out back behind your house, put it in the fire pit, and light it on fire. That's pretty much what you're doing here. It's almost worse than gambling. You could go buy lottery tickets and probably have a better outcome for most of those. Another giant danger, dumpster fire, piece of garbage chart. Now, I'm not saying they won't make money. Just highly volatile, highly dangerous. Then it's going back to the bottom, right? There's just some companies aren't set up to bring shareholder value, and they are very evident when their chart looks like this, to me. All right, these are just dangerous freaking things. ZS looks like we're going on down. If you drew the uptrend of lows here, we broke below it. We're down below the roadmap line. This can come on down. AVGO, watch for that to come on down. Jody, you're getting lucky. This may bleed it back down. Right there. CEG, watch for that to bounce and hit the extension. Coming back in. Silver. And then go check that out here in a second. Right there, that would be the back above that would be conservative entry about above 260, looking for 297. Go check this one out. Oh yeah, baby. Come on down. Come to papa. Well, that's happening quick. Flush out on silver, developing quickly, and then we can bounce. SHCO. Yeah, it's just stuck in a range here. Like, look how long it's been chopping in the same zone. Not my favorite kind of, like that doesn't say to me, hey, JT, this is a giant opportunity here. Get ready for the breakout. Looks like we're going to retrace again. AXP, probably going to retrace. The list was pretty long today with the big pullback and everything kind of oversold yesterday a little bit. FAS, look at that. This is giant opportunity. This is screaming that those big financials, this is 3x leverage on it. So this is like playing with nitroglycerin and fire at the same time. But this is screaming that there may be a little bit more downside on financials and then a giant potential upside. Right there. Now, check this out. I love this chart. Absolutely love this chart. I've been looking for a place to get in. Because look at this. Look what this has. Look what this did. That low right there, this high right here. Met the minimum criteria for a measured bounce here. Maybe it looks better on this chart where we poked a little deeper. Let's just play that way. A little more conservative, not so much exponential. Check this out. That low, that high, this low. Look at this. Look at these numbers. And this is bullish. Like there's not a correction. So this is probably going right up in this zone. Right there. It's almost a double from where we are. Now, the crazy thing is, maybe, if you might get crazy. Look at this. Look at these numbers. Absolutely insane. Things get wild. Inflation goes nuts. It's like about 900, 1,000, 2,300. There's a probably split a bunch of times before then, but that insanity. I've been waiting for a good opportunity. I missed buying right here. I meant to, but I just didn't. Should have. I just didn't. DXYZ. Watch for this to roll right back down to the bottom. Amazon. Oh, so close to that long-term 240 target. So close. I've been expecting this to retrace again, but doesn't have to. Kind of did that little touch of the 1272, back to the breakout, and rip right up there, 240. Now, it needs a bigger correction so that we can do the bigger bounce here. I'm not going to lie, like that little baby move, little baby move, little baby move. It needs a little bit bigger correction in here somewhere. Somewhere. And right now that's pulling up higher. The bigger this gets, the bigger the upside could potentially be once we do pullback and a bounce. But I hadn't done the pullback, so that doesn't come into play yet. We need to do the pullback. Okay, TA. It may never do a pullback, and it may just be like, well, never did it. Ukta. Sitting here with the potential to break above that and get the move up in this zone. NVIDIA coming on down. Didn't do a big flush yesterday, but it's definitely flashing some warning lights. If this gets below that roadmap line, watch for a bigger flush on NVIDIA. Now, it could ride. If the NASDAQ's going to ride higher, this could ride on up. Get right up in here. 160 area. Very easily. VRT. Watch for the drop to the roadmap line. NVDO. We're in that warning zone. Like the leveraged NVIDIAs are indicating there's problems. If they don't flip this around quickly, that becomes very, very much possible reality. KBR, flushing on down, flushing on down. TER. Came up shy of the ideal correction there. Resistance is still sitting right there at that gap down. If we can break through it, 172 on the upside. BA, wow, we're only like halfway through. Watch for the retrace and the bounce. That's just waiting for a good spot for me to pick up some exposure to this. I don't know if I'll go big. Goose is pretty big into this already. He was pretty excited that I got that within $2 of the low there, and we're ripping. Potentially on the path, if you haven't seen this, potentially on the path to 600 on Boeing. It's going to take a while. Long time, maybe the 2030s. FSLR could go fast, but it's probably going to take a while. FSLR bounced off the roadmap line, right back here. Probably going down here. JPM, probably set to come on down. Now this could be the first move down. Do a little retrace and do the next move before we can bounce. It's possible. Square. Watch for the retrace. Turn down at that. Now, if we can hold the breakouts, we can rally on higher. That rally higher right up here at 116 area on square. VST. Watch for that to come on down. Google bounced off of that. Retesting the breakout. Next extension up, 207. 227 above that. CLS. Watch for that to retrace. SMLR. Grinding this target here. Watch for a retrace at least back to the... Watch out for a retest of that before we can break on higher. There's the other Class A shares that do a little better on Google. 206 to 725. They're not the same. Class A shares. Actually, hit the targets more often than the Class C shares. Even though it seems like they should be the same, they're not. TSLT, that's 2x leverage on Tesla. Could be a buying opportunity. Could. Be careful. Depends on what you think on the Tesla chart. TSM, watch for that retrace. TPR, watch for that retrace. Tapestry. APO, watch for that retrace. SLG, almost to the retrace. Beautiful. That could go a little deeper, but could find support there and go cruising on higher 104, possibly even bigger move on up to 130. PLTR already hit on that this didn't do anything yesterday, so watch out. This might pop to 107, but it might flush down to the roadmap line. Just all of a sudden, like, AAOI. Watch for that to retrace. SMCX. Amazingly, didn't flush with the market yesterday. Look at that SMCI. Didn't really behave with the market. So watch for, this is a red flag to me. Watch out for that retest. If we break through it, down, this is just the roadmap pattern. Right there. Upside down roadmap pattern. Bulls, glancing off the prior high there. Glanced off, retrace. If we can hold this, probably going on up. If we break down below it, probably coming down here. If we break below that, probably going on down. TXN. Ooh. Coming on down. Abercrombie and Fitch. Filling on out that watermelon seed squeeze. Is it going to pop or is it going to drop? I don't know. That's an unreliable pattern. It's done that. Same things kind of as oil where it did a shoulder, head, shoulder, 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 shoulder. BKCH, just grinding. Probably going to come back to the roadmap line. IONQ. This is like the biggest list we've had since, what, August? When we get the big flush. Watch for that. BPTH. Dumpster fire. Why are these dumpster fires? Reverse splits. Like nothing. When I say nothing, I mean like 99.9% of companies, when they start doing reverse splits, they never recover and go on to do anything substantial. And this is a biotech and reverse split, so be careful. Unless they just solve all the world's everything, be careful. Now, interesting. I talk about, oh, we cured cancer. Russia, I don't know how true this was. I saw that Russia is opening trials for a cancer vaccine of all cancer. My wife's like, I would never take that. Kimberly was like, not me. I'm not taking that. So we'll see what happens. But I thought that was interesting. All cancer vaccine. Could be pretty life-changing, world-changing if that's the truth. 152. ANET. Looks like we might come back down. Ultra Dow did come back down to the roadmap line. So this could bounce pretty violently here. Ultra Pro. That's leverage is what that means. Bust back above that 618 and 117, 120. Boyle just chopping. TSLR. 2x leverage long. That $80 area could be the top. UPRO. Whew, that could come on down. Be careful. And I warned about this one. Going to do a violent retrace. Well, there you go. Violent retrace. Check. Retraced back to the breakout. If we can get it going. Next upside right there. What is that number? 99, basically. Got to get some upside going, though. It can easily come back to here. High probability-wise, there's no trade. The high probability trade was from here. Entry was here. Target was here. We got it. Now we got to wait for retest here and set it up all up again. Yeah, this is, for those of you who've never seen this, there 94% of the time. 36 profit factor. Absolute insanity. This thing just works. There. Beautiful. I don't think I ever hit this. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument whatsoever. If you desire personal financial advice, hire a consult financial advisor. That means just because I predict it doesn't mean it'll ever come true. And we do have, for those of you still here, we do have PCE tomorrow. So this could be a volatile inducing event right there. Inflation coming in tomorrow on top of the OPEX. And most of the options expire before the market opens. So today is kind of the end of most of the options. Everybody talks about Friday being crazy, but it's really by the close on Thursday. SYF probably coming on down. Synchrony Financial. And as for decliners, which are not very many today, VRTX got smacked in the face. Wow. LW. That's very interesting. Now I need to see a bounce take place. Break above that, get up here, retrace, and boom. This could be a measured bounce. That's minimum criteria met. MU, just back to the lows. Nothing broken for me so far. I sold the $100 put. Got a couple bucks credit, so I'm going to be at like 90. I'd have to go look. I think it's 97.50 maybe. Maybe 97, maybe 98. Somewhere right up in here I'll be. And I can sell a call out a month or so. And we'll see. This has a measured bounce potential or a giant move. I've been hunting for an entry. I may add a little bit more to it. We'll see. Now the caution here, it starts breaking on down below these levels down here. This can go lower and the pattern's wrecked, and we're not doing that. That's where you gotta know when you're wrong, all right? Being wrong doesn't cost you big money. Being wrong happens all the time. Close your trade. Staying wrong. Now this kind of did what I gave me the entry I was looking for. So I did the starter. I kind of like was suspect on that chop, and we weren't breaking out of it yet. Did the retrace. As long as we hold a higher low, everything's still looking good. We get a lower low, start questioning my life choices and where it might break down. If we get below this, the bottom of this box here, I'm really getting concerned about this, and I may just cut it. LEN. I know it was the bonus trade earlier in the week, and now it's being funky. LEN right there. Looks like that could accelerate down, but it also could be the bottom. Lennar. Watch for that to bounce. Nail went all the way back down. Gotta watch the 3x leverage. Definitely got overexcited here on the downside. That high, that low, that high. Could have just a little bit more down to 81 there. Cold. Looks like it might flush on down. VIXy, short-term VIX. Still holding on some volatility. How's VIX? How's VIX doing? Yeah, back down to 22. Closed at 27 yesterday. Gap back down. Just kind of churning a little bit. Could make another run if we get another leg down. I'm not saying there's not a leg down. I'm just, their market has opportunity to retrace, but it could take another leg down. All right, that's very well possible. We'll go through the kind of expectation for the day here in a second. That has potential to come on down. Nice. VXX. Wow, that held up really well. Right there. UVXY. Did really well on that one too. RCX. Looks like that one's pushing on down. Lower low, 76 maybe. SARC. short. Say 2x short on daily innovators. And that did a reverse split. Be careful. This looks like it's going into the toilet. CTAS, Synthos. That is retraced to the roadmap line. There's potential for it to bounce. It's a regular split right there. I have to break back above this area right in here to indicate we're going on up to 235. Yang being nasty. Toll Brothers. Where's the bottom? We don't hold here. It can develop into something worse. Now, there's no retrace in here, so one big move doesn't help me predict where it's going to stop. QUBT. Now, if you know the Echo Trade system and stuff like that, there's other things you can do, but it's beyond my morning show effort. And this is coming up into prior resistance. Yeah, right there. Careful. Been here before. We've topped out before and dropped. WSM. Watch for that to retrace on Williams-Sonoma. Could get up to 212 area. WDC. That looks like one move down, retrace, and set up the next move down. Watch for the bigger flush here. That high, that low, that high, right down in here. Now, if it can, like it did hold the breakout right there. Right there. If it can maintain that hold on that breakout, we could push it higher. This was a big long-term downtrend here. Could push it on higher, but it's really, really messing with it. Usually if we do that bounce, we just take off, but this one's not just taken off yet. So caution on WDC. And then last but not least, Baidu. That's a measure, or that's a roadmap bounce from below. If we get below that 618, watch out for 75 down here on Baidu. I was really bullish on this before, but now it's proving to be very bearish, inclined. So watch for that. And there's no bonus trades for the day. Out of almost 4,000 tickers, not a single one was set up with a beautiful entry for today. Be careful out there. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. We could just sit here all day. Like, that's entirely possible. So, bias for the day. Go dive in. Take a look. So far, still retesting the 5-minute. Now, this can get sparky all of a sudden. Maybe like, why did it just rally 100 points? Look at this. We're setting this baby up right here. Look. This is a measured bounce. I can put it right up in that 6,000 area. This next move, if we turn, like it can go really fast. 6,000 that I keep talking about being the place for the options. It's set up right there. Absolutely insane. That's going to be wild if it does that. Now, there's the equal opportunity that we just plummet on down and we get back down to the daily roadmap line. This is in the cards. This is in play right here. Caution. We can go extending down here. All right. This is in play. But we're not through the 4-hour yet. There's the support. If we push down, we may just hit that and then reverse violently. There you go. All right. I'll be back again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15 in the morning. Make sure you're subscribed. And I'll see you tomorrow.